Hi, I'm Steve Lentz at Showcase House. We're about halfway into the restoration project. In fact, today is a major move-in day. The furniture which goes into each room of Showcase House is up to the individual designer's taste. However, there is a color palette to follow for consistency.
This room was a moss green, which really absorbed the light.
Julie Kays is designing the ladies' study. Since it faces west onto a garden, she wanted to bring in the sunlight.
I wanted to warm up the room, first of all, and by choosing a yellow, almost a strong yellow for the walls, it really did bring the light into the room. I've chosen the same sort of color in the beautiful rug. It transforms this house that is a Tudor, so there's a lot of dark wood involved, but I've masked it a bit, and so it's a very warm and friendly room now.
The decor is to be fresh and a little edgy, something she calls a dynamic quality.
The key feature to this room, being the ladies' study, is this incredible Chinese library table. It really is indulgent. This is her room, and I personally identify with this. This has a flavor of my home office.
Upstairs, bedrooms are being painted. Tile in one bath is taken out, and this bathroom originally was divided into separate rooms. Designer Eileen Atwood felt it was time to bring it together into one room, which meant changing everything.
The tub was on one side along with a small pedestal underneath the window. I took out the wall that partitioned it, and then I centered the bathtub and I centered the sink on underneath the wall so that I could create a mirror over the sink area. And then we gave a little vanity area for the little girl to sit and do makeup.
You'll notice something thematic about the names of each room in the house. So where did Littlest Princess come from?
When the committee chose this house, it happened to coincide with the royal wedding that's coming up, and because it's an English Tudor house, it all seemed to fall into place. So each room has a title that lends itself to the royal family, and this is the littlest princess, meaning it's the littlest girl in the household.
Colmar's approach, she wanted a certain look to all the furniture in her room.
Well, I wanted the furniture to look as though they had been culled from various other parts of the house for this little girl. A chest from here and a desk from there and slip-covered an old chair they had somewhere else. I really wanted to do a little girl's room because I have one son and I never got to do all the ruffles and pink and dolls and girly things. So I'm thrilled to be having a good time doing this little girl's room.
And what was a boys' playroom for the original owner is now a girls' play and study room.
Basically, it's supposed to be a space where the girls can relax and do their homework and just be inspired. And I'm calling it the new vintage, which is taking vintage pieces and reinventing them and giving them a new life and lacquering and reupholstering into modern graphic patterns and mixing in the new and the old, a lot of vintage lighting, and giving it a sense of personality and definitely making sure that the space is true to the client. So for this room, it's a 16-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I think that it balances both, like I said, the function and the style.
After a typical day of chasing foxes, an English gentleman could retire to his lounge. Here, designer Lawrence Ruskowski wasn't entirely sure what he'd found.
There was no ceiling. The ceiling had fallen off the floor. The plaster relief over there had fallen off and was laying on the floor. The walls were missing. The floors were hideously water damaged.
The relief has been restored, the walls painted, the fireplace polished, and he wanted a masculine deco feel to the room.
The pictures on the walls are Hollywood icons, Hollywood legends. I don't know, I just thought they fit the mood of the room.
And the ottoman?
I just wanted something a little kind of wacky. At first I wanted to do Lynx because it has the spots, but it was out of control financially. So I went with Coyote, which was very reasonable.
Each year, when Showcase approaches a home design project, environmental concerns are at the top of the list. It's evident in this year's home, no more so than in the original garage. Garage Envy's Jamie Dietenhofer believes it makes good sense to recycle as much material as possible.
So we did a soy-based clear on the floor, just bring out the aggregate because it's just, we want to keep this an industrial feel.
Great.
As opposed to putting something down there that's not going to be useful.
Right.
And this is a Paul Williams construction. It was kind of, we wanted to accent that as opposed to taking away.
Environmentalist and actor Ed Begley Jr. recently completed a similar project at his home.
You know, this house was built in a different era when they didn't have a mind for energy conservation the way we do today. But the wonderful thing I like about the Pasadena Showcase House is that they're doing as much repurposing as possible, saving as much timber and brick and stone and tile and everything, and not putting in a landfill. There's very little waste here. They're going to keep the architectural integrity of this wonderful home here in La Cañada. And, you know, they're going to have a lot of people come through and see how you can have a place that looks good, you know, and has this kind of heritage to it, and there's a lot of energy efficiency that they're doing in the bargain.
The Pasadena Showcase House home is one of the oldest projects of its kind in the United States. It's the primary fundraising activity for the volunteers of the Pasadena Showcase House for the Arts. The success of the event has enabled Pasadena Showcase to donate more than $17 million to the Los Angeles Philharmonic, schools, and nonprofit organizations. Showcase House also sponsors its award-winning Music Mobile program to introduce symphonic music to third-grade students in San Gabriel Valley classrooms. And each fall, more than 4,000 fourth graders attend a youth symphony concert at the Walt Disney Concert Hall. Pasadena Showcase hosts an annual instrumental competition for young adults ages 16 to 24 that is judged by members of the Los Angeles Philharmonic. From the Great Room to the Rumpus Room, this Paul Williams designed English Tudor country home will be restored to its original glory. Updated with modern conveniences we've come to expect from new construction while preserving the past. Thanks for listening. I'm Steve Lentz.